Hello and welcome to this video where I talk about the key themes in the novel Jekyll and Hyde and the kind of big messages that are being explored via those themes. So let's start off, I guess, by talking about the duality of human nature. Now, I guess just in a nutshell, the message is mankind, humankind contains both good and evil. Nobody is purely good, nobody is purely evil. Everybody sort of sits somewhere along a continuum, but it's within us all. And that there is a battle, okay, that exists, a battle, a constant struggle to find an equilibrium that is appropriate both to society and to you as an individual. The classic quote, man is not truly one, but truly two, in the novel. Obviously, it encapsulates this entirely, and I guess what Stevenson was trying to push on to Victorian society, and society in general, even modern society, is that this is a constant sort of conflict, internal conflict. So that's the first kind of key one that tends to come up quite a lot, this idea of human nature and the duality, the two sides. Science versus religion, the limits of human knowledge. Okay, the novel reflects Victorian anxieties. Science versus religion, it reflects Victorian anxieties about scientific progress. So, how far was the world willing to take science? And we see this obviously through, Jekyll's experiments. And I believe that Stevenson uses this theme to send a warning to Victorian society about these desires to essentially play God. You think about some of the other novels that came out in the Victorian period, Frankenstein, for example, and the way that similarly looks at what the world would look like, in a system, in a structure where religion was not always going to be the dominant influence. Now, I spoke about this briefly, this next one, on my video on sort of contexts, but of course, one of the key themes is reputation. And Jekyll, very much worries about how he will be judged and how he will be seen. The message that Stevenson is sending through reputation is obviously in a society where repression is the dominant control, people pushing down their true desires, their true interests. People will always be pushed into the margins, always be pushed into a sense of secrecy. And last but not least, identity, is a key theme. Who is the real Jekyll? Who is the real Jekyll? Is it Hyde or is it Jekyll? And I guess what Stevenson even though obviously Hyde is the one who finally takes over, he leaves this somewhat ambiguous because there is no true answer. It's a true and permanent struggle. It links in many ways to this duality of human nature as well. But the way that he presents himself in public is Jekyll. He wants people to believe that Jekyll is the true form, but ultimately Hyde takes over. So thank you for listening.